Welcome to Reviews of Reviews, the show where I review reviewers reviewing today's latest films.
Is on the wings of love.
This week's film is Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
This
is a bad idea.
Our first review is from IGN by Samantha Ladwig. The first two paragraphs really do give you an idea of the story itself, the characters, and she does a good job of breaking it down and kind of letting you know what to expect. Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates isn't quite sure what it is. Is it a film about relationships, sisterhood, best friends, growth, independence? Everything she's mentioned there is relationships. It's a film about relationships between friends, about relationships between lovers, relationships with family. It's literally a film about relationships. It's very obvious the writing isn't complex, so that was good because I hate it when I have a dictionary there in the theater with me and I'm looking at words that they're saying in the film, then people are yelling at me because I have my phone on. They're saying things like, why don't you put your pants back on? Why don't you put your pants back on? Now they use a 10-point score, which I'm not a fan of. I think the 5-point score is a lot better for obvious reasons that I don't need to get into. So she gives it a 5.5, which, you know, people are going to think that's bad, but a 5.5 is slightly above average, and I think that's good. I think it's a 5.5, which means good. It is an average movie, but clearly, I don't know what she was expecting. Most of the reviews seem like she was looking for stuff to hate. I don't know what she's thinking, so it's in the gray pile because I don't know what to make of it. And by gray, I don't mean the color, I mean the aliens that are controlling us.
We don't rile each other up. We never get riled up.
The next review is from the Chicago Tribune by Stephanie Mary at the Washington Post. What? So the Chicago Tribune's lying to me. That's already a negative on it. They're claiming it's their review. It's actually a review from the Washington Post. That's sneaky and underhanded, and I don't like it, and I won't stand for it. You'll laugh, but you might feel bad for doing it. Amusement is a form of approval, and do we really want to encourage such filth? I mean, I imagine that when she saw this film, she was in the theater with a turtleneck and had her little glass of wine. They're like, I'm gonna go see Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. Ugh. I find it funny, but I shouldn't. Oh no. The pretentious meter's starting to get off the roof. Nothing says laugh riot like a near-fatal injury. I'm telling you, she can't handle it! Oddly enough, the movie has a pseudo-feminist heart. The message, which has all the subtlety of a slap to the face, is that girls can be just as grotesque, offensive, and self-centered as guys. She's going to blow! And yet the ladies aren't nearly as amusing or interesting as their male counterparts. So much for equal opportunity. Now, pretentious meter, is that a meter that measures levels of pretentiousness, or is it a meter that is pretentious in and of itself? The movie doesn't really level the playing field for men and women. It's bizarre and vulgar, but also too funny to resist. I don't know what she's getting at, and I think the worst part is she used the 5-point rating system, which I like, the 1 out of 5 stars. She gives it a 2.5. Again, an average score. 2.5 is average. I'm very confused, very agitated. My bowels have become very loose. I regret having that stew right before starting the film. This goes in the bad pile just because it doesn't know what it wants to be. And it's not, here's the other thing, it's not judging a movie for what it sets out to be. It's also the Washington Post, so, you know, talk about legitimate journalism.
Mike und Dave Stengel brauchen Dates für die Hochzeit ihrer Schwester auf Hawaii.
Die Jungs bringen uns nach Hawaii.
Wir suchen Mädels, die unserer Mom und unserer Schwester auch gefallen.
Wir werden so vertrauenswürdig aussehen wie Sau.
For our third review, we have one from The Hollywood Reporter by Todd McCarthy. In the inevitably inebriated, sometimes stoned, reliably raw, and occasionally body fluid enhanced annals of gross-out wedding comedies, it is arguably topped by The Hangover, Bridesmaids, and Wedding Crashers, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates rates medium on the grossness scale. And it's true, Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates is very similar to Wedding Crashers out of all the three he mentioned. It's, I would say, almost like a spiritual successor. Wow, Wedding Crashers came out 11 years ago. What am I doing with my life? I really wish there was a Taco Bell nearby my house. Still, the repetitive humor is frat boy level boorish rather than cosmically anarchic, I don't know. Suggesting a quick box office cash-in instead of a big long haul for Fox in a summer thus far very short on comedy. What the hell are people expecting? Like, even just seeing the poster, I would assume you know what to expect. Like, what kind of comedy are they? Are they expecting something to like redefine the genre, or something to like, I don't know, redefine our existence? Like, this is insane. Like, I don't understand why they have such high standards for a movie entitled Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates, a movie which has the plot of the film in its title. Like, I don't get it. I don't get what people are expecting of this film. Mike, Adam Devine of Workaholics, Modern Family, and the two Pitch Perfect features, and Dave, Zac Efron. That's it. He doesn't list any works that Zac Efron has been on, even though Zac Efron was in Neighbors, which is the movie that I think the writers and the directors did before this. So clearly McCarthy isn't an Efron fan. And neither was I until I saw those eyes. And I don't like weird things. This goes in the bad pile. So we have 2 bads and 1 gray. The trailer does not do it justice, in my opinion. I think it's a pretty good comedy. It is, I would say, it's a little above average. It's not like gonna like knock you off your feet, but it is worth seeing. What you can do is just watch Wedding Crashers, put on one of these bad boys, and it'll be pretty much the same thing. Now, that's not a jab at Mike and Dave. It is a really good film. So the reviewers were expecting some kind of Academy Award-winning, emotionally transcending film. I'm not sure why, but yeah, I would definitely go see it. Don't go out of your way to see it, but definitely if you have a chance, you got to kill like an hour and a half. It's worth a watch.
Is it okay?
Oh, she looks like burn victim Barbie.
And you're Black Ken.
Throw it down.